Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the Be A Superhero doll panel sew along. We are at week 4 this week, and this week, I left the best for last. This week is my very favorite week to talk about. So it's bringing the doll to life and stuffing the doll. So when the doll has been turned and all of the things which we're going to talk about pretty soon, it looks beautiful, but when you stuff that doll, it just really comes to life. And today we're going to be talking about how to get a nice rounded head, how to get that nice rounded neck with a nice firm neck so you don't have a floppy head, but you do have the movable floppy arms and legs, how to make that happen in a modern rag doll, how to have a nice soft belly without compromising the neck, and an invisible stitch on the side too. All the tips and tricks are coming at your way today. So before we begin today, I just want to make sure that you are joined. It's never too late. Make sure you have joined the Be A Superhero doll sew along. All you need to do is come over to our website, besoinspired.com, and go under fabric collections, go under Be A Superhero. And then there's all kinds of things. There's patterns, there's projects, there's the panel downloads that are free. And then there's the sew alongs. So make sure you sign up for the sew along and you'll get all of the emails and all the fun that's happening with the doll. So that's really an exciting part of making the doll together. Also, I'm really happy that there's so many people, shops included, and people sharing and tagging us, but also more importantly, talking about their stories. So the whole purpose behind the Be A Superhero is really an empowerment story. So it's really about empowering and giving courage to someone for something that may be going through in their life, maybe for just touching you in a certain way. And it's really about speaking to somebody else and touching somebody else through our gifts and talents of sewing. So I am so emotionally touched by all of the posts and stories that are being shared about that. This is exactly what we wanted these panels to be. We're learning all the tips and tricks, and it's so fun to be sharing together, but it is so moving to be able to work together and spread joy and lift each other up through the superhero movement. So please continue. If you haven't already, go back and add them, the superhero movement hashtag. So add the it says hashtag superhero movement. And that's what we're doing is sharing all of our great stories. We want to hear yours as well. And we can't wait to see your superhero dolls and how you're using them. So thank you for doing that. Thank you also for tagging me at Be So Inspired so I can share along and help lift you up as well in your mission. Thank you from my heart. Okay, so things we need for today. We need stuffing. Take the stuffing that you think you need and double it. And you're going to see why in a second. So we need lots of stuffing. This is just polyester fiber fill. You can get it at a craft store, or you can get it just, Amazon, anywhere that you want there. You can get your polyester fiber fill, or you can use other kinds of fill like wool blend. And there's just lots of different types and kinds, and even some different colors. So you don't have to use this kind of a stuffing. I'm using hemostats. I talked about these in the first week. These are medical hemostat. They click together, and I'm going to use them for stuffing and for turning, and I'll just show you how I use them. But you do not have to go out and purchase these to make dolls. You can do them with a knitting needle. You can do them with the eraser side of a pencil. You can do them just with a point turner. So there's lots of ways to turn and stuff your dolls without these, but I'll be showing with these today. You just need some thread and a hand sewing needle. Here it is. Don't want to lose that and step on it later. And you need just a tiny little pair of scissors, and we're good to go. So let me lower the camera down and let me show you all the tips and tricks. So we have our doll totally prepared and ready. We've got a nice shortened seam stitch length on our seam allowance here. We've got all of the edges clipped in all of the corners. We've got all of the clips happening around all of the curves. Any extra trimming that happened, we've separated the legs if you kept them together. And we've left an opening in the doll. Very important. So now I'm going to take my turning tool. I'm going to show you how I use these hemostats, but you can use, like I said, a knitting needle or any kind of a point turner that you want. Even an eraser is fine. So I'm going to open them up and I'm going to put them inside, and I'm going to do the limbs first because they're the skinniest parts. And so to turn them, all I'm going to do with the hemostat is just push the edge in so it catches a little bit, and I clip it closed. And then I carefully just pull the arm into itself. I don't need to pull it through this opening yet. I'm just going to pull it, release it here, so it's right side out inside of the body. I'm going to repeat that and do that to the other arm. I'm just going to catch it in there, and then I'm just going to pull. Good. I'm not going to worry if it's totally completely turned out yet. I'm going to do the same thing to the legs. So, and if you're using a pencil, you can push the pencil through here. There we go. One, and then another one here. All right, so we've got all the limbs turned right side out. Okay, so then now I'm just going to take the head and do the same thing, catch the head, and I'm going to bring the head through. I don't want to tug too hard, so I'm just going to pull the head through and then just gently, this is like the magic part. Oh, it's so fun. And you've got the limbs and the arms and the legs, and your doll looks a little bit like this to start. So what we need to do now is we're going to close this. You can take this, or like I said, an eraser or a knitting needle or a point turner, and I'm going to put it through the opening and just go around the whole edge of the doll. I'm going to go and just press through all the seams. So if I've clipped everything well, then it should open up. I'm just going to make sure I push all of the seams out. Good. Along the hips, so it gets nice and rounded. Into the legs, open up. So again, you can see that it's caught. I went just inside my seam allowance, so I've sewed. I've got my points matching together really nicely here. And yeah, everything looks great there. Do the other leg and work my way all the way around this doll. So I'm just going to move, so it's going to start to look like this all the way around the doll. I'm going to move over and just show you if you have this doll and this ponytail that you want to make sure you've done the same thing. All right, so you're going to make sure that you've gone to the edges and right into all of the points of the ponytail. Good. So once you have all of those dolls turned out, we're going to start by stuffing the limbs. To get the really nice rag doll feel so that she's not stiff and just straight out like this, we're going to stuff the arms and the legs, and then we're going to sew here. I've also stuffed the ponytail so I can stuff here, but I'm not going to sew on the ponytail. So I'm just going to take a little bit of stuffing. I'm going to separate it out. I'm going to grab a doll, and I'm going to start by pushing the stuffing into the limb. So I just pushed into the limb, and as I'm doing that, I make sure that the limb is getting that nice curve all the way out to the seam allowance. I'm going to do a little check there. And I've pushed all of that, so it's about up to here now. It's quite firm, and this is what I want. So I'm going to keep taking a little bit of stuffing. You're not going to get further ahead if you try to take lots of stuffing and shove it in at once. It'll just kind of get difficult to push. So you just push in a little bit at a time, and you're going to keep going all the way up to the arm. Once you get to the arm, you're going to sew back stitch on both ways and just sew on your machine there. So that will give your doll the ability to have the movement in the arms and in the legs. You can use a matching thread or just a complementary thread. Then we are going to stuff the doll's head next and the body last before we finish the doll up. So now I'm going to take some more stuffing and I'm going to open it up, and I will start by putting it into the doll's head. I'm I'm going to take this, and this is where the doll really comes to life, and it's so fun and exciting. So when you push it in at first, you're like, oh, that looks kind of crinkly. So what you want to do is I'm going to start with this doll to the corner, and I'm not going to be scared of the doll, and I want that ponytail to stick out nice and straight, so I'm going to give lots of stuffing. The biggest trick I can share with you is that you're going to stuff, and then you're going to stuff some more, and then you're going to stuff some more until you think, how did that much stuffing go into my doll? So you see that, like, you know, this is not fully stuffed yet. That's okay. We're going to keep adding and keep adding. I'm going to keep talking here because what happens is people stuff the head really thick, and then they forget to keep stuffing the neck. And I'm going to get to the neck and show you that in a second as well, because we really want the neck of the doll to have a nice firm support to it too. So you're going to see how much stuffing I'm pushing. I'm pushing down here while I'm stuffing to the edges so that the stuffing doesn't just pull back, until it can kind of work its way in place. Give it a little bit of a pull. This is the fun part. This is where they're coming to life. Really pressing around all the corners. And then see how it's getting to be a nice shape on the top there. It's not here yet, but that's okay. I'm working from the top down. So I'm working from the top down there. And then I'm going to work onto both sides of the face. And you're thinking, whoa, where is that stuffing going? Right now she's in the splits. Okay, so you can see that the top of the head is getting to be a great shape. A nice shape. The ponytail is in really nice shape. The top of the head is a nice shape. You can see that here it's not quite a nice shape yet. That's because I still need to fill in lots in through here. And so I'll just show you the transformation that's going to happen when you're stuffing your doll. Now, you want your doll to have a really firm head, especially because the head, you know, will have the most like action to it, and we don't want a floppy neck ever. But you can get the body, you can stuff the body like more huggable and softer. That is completely acceptable and fine. You don't have to have the whole doll stuffed this hard. Now, I should say that if you didn't sew your arms here and you're stuffing your doll so much that you will have like a very stiff doll. So that's why if you are going to stuff really hard, like this is quite hard here, it gets softer and softer and really soft in through here. And then you're going to see that this doll will, you know, still be able to be played with, moved. She'll be able to have expressions with her arms and legs. Good. So I'm still not done stuffing the head. Do you see? So all of this stuffing is still going into the head. Lots goes into the neck. That all disappeared onto this side of her face. But see how this is starting to get rounded out now? That's what we want. That's the tip-in trick. That's the biggest trick I can share with you. And see how this, like her skin is smoothing out on the doll, like on her face. So I'm going to do some more on, and I'm going to do on the neck, I'm going to do a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side. And I keep kind of filling it out as I work my way down. And look, isn't that getting beautiful? What a nice shape that is. Excellent. Okay, so I would say she's stuffed pretty well up until there, but I could still do some more on her neck. And then I'm going to do her hips, and I'll leave her tummy for the end. Good. Even more. I'm still pushing in the neck. Isn't that amazing? So you can really see how much, and this is why that shortened stitch length is so important, because when you're putting so much pressure on your seams here, then you want to, make sure they're going to hold and stay strong. So now I'm going to go down into her hips. I'm going to get this corner nice and rounded. It looks like I'm being rough with her, but I'm really not. But do you remember that big basket of stuffing that I had at the beginning? Well, it's almost gone for this doll, and I didn't stuff her arms and legs with it, right? I had that done beforehand on this doll. So you will use more stuffing than you think. Okay, I'm going to get her hips nice and rounded and out. So I love the shape of these dolls because I feel like they are a nice, healthy shape, still quite whimsical, still fun, and, a nice, great shape. So I'm going to still keep pushing some up towards the neck and then just a little bit more through the body. You can see how nice and smooth she's ending up. And through here, I might use my fingers for the last little bit. Great. Oh, more. Just keep going until you, and when you think it's enough, keep going again. All right. Oh, here's something to show you. So see how something's shifted already? So you can see how this is bending right in through the neck here. So I'm just going to give a little bit more in through the neck and upper body so it doesn't do that. And push that up. So now you can see how it's nice and flat and smooth. So that means I just need a little bit more right in here. You can feel that it's nice and strong. I'll just need a little bit more right through here. Who's surprised how much stuffing I'm using? So you need to put enough stuffing in so that it doesn't shift. But look, she's still nice. She's still nice. And her head is quite firm, but her body is, still nice and soft. But I've got it pushed up there so it's not going to, make that bulking. And I'll just use a little bit more to finish it off. All right, so now we're going to use an invisible stitch on the side, an invisible ladder stitch to close up the doll. Yay. So I'm just going to take my thread. I should have had it just going to use a cotton thread. I should have had this threaded before. I might need to go grab my glasses. Oh, I got it through. Okay, yay for me. All right, you can make the knot how you want to. I usually always lick my finger. I pull these two ends together. I wrap it around once, and then I roll it off my finger. And then I use my index finger in the middle to pull back, and it makes a really nice, quite a big knot. And that's going to be hidden inside the doll anyways. Okay, so I'm going to start in here a little bit back of the doll. An invisible ladder stitch looks like this. I'm going to bring you even closer. Okay, so you're going to come in right along the seam, up one side, and you're going to cross over right there and come up along the other side. When you pull it tight, you're going to that's going to disappear. So you're just going to go take little tiny stitch lengths along and right into the fold or the seam and pull. I'm just grabbing right at the top along the seam. This is the thread catching there. So I'm going to make sure my stuffing's pushed down because it sometimes likes to catch and poke out, which is not a big deal. You can just pull that out afterwards. But you can see that this is not quite at my seam allowance. I'm just going to fold it over to make sure that I'm grabbing it right in the right spot. This is called a ladder stitch. You're coming in one side and up along this edge. You don't have to pull tight yet. After a few I will. So like maybe now, and see how it kind of just sucks everything together there nicely. And I'll go a little ways longer. So this is a great thing. I like to stuff at a table or at my cutting table so I can, like you saw how I was pushing on the doll. But I would take this, normally I would take this hand stitching, especially if I'm making multiple dolls, in a little bin, and I'd sit on the couch and maybe do it in the evening. So some of this stuff, you need your sewing machine for in your sewing room. And then some parts of doll making is great for being, on the go or just with your family. It still can be like a social time. You can take it to your quilt group and do this together in a circle. While you're still, it's very social. You can do it while you're chatting. You can do it even while you're watching your grandkids or your own children and they're playing. I'm making a knot a few times here. This is my third knot already. And then I'm going to send this through quite a bit. And I'll just cut it right at the edge so it's hidden. A long tail's inside of her and hidden. And there you have it. Well, I hope you had so much fun learning all those tips and tricks with me. I'd love to hear yours if you use a different tool, if you have different tips and tricks. I'd love to hear your comments if you've learned something today. If you've really enjoyed doll making and you want to know even more than that, you could consider joining, or even if you're just love dolls or just love making stuff with us together, you could consider joining our Be So Inspired Makers Club. So we have this wonderful Makers Club that we just launched a couple of months ago, and it is going wonderfully and so excellent. So every week we bring out a new quilt pattern or doll pattern or stuffy tutorial or something fun and whimsical every week. And you, as a club member, you can come monthly or yearly and you get the pattern every week. You get the downloads, you get the pattern, you get the SVG cut files if you like them. Some of the projects have machine embroidery, so you get those, you get PDF downloads, you get all of this for less. This is what I feel so great about. You get it all for less than even one pattern a month. And we are doing that because we really wanted to bring all of our clubs together. We wanted to just lift each other up, and we just wanted to just sort of spread the joy that, maybe you are a doll maker, but you might want to try a quilt, or maybe you're a quilt maker and you might want to try a doll. Everybody likes to make little stuffed apples. So, it's just all of this fun in one club with an amazing value. Feel so good about sharing it with you. There's absolutely no obligation in it. Just so you know, there's no fine print. You can sign up for 1 month and then leave after the month. There's no penalty. Sign up for a year, leave after a year. There's no penalties at all. If you do decide to sign up for the annual membership, then there's all kinds of education as well that comes along. And plus you get all the back content also. So it's an amazing value, and the price is even better. So it's an amazing value. And if you are really interested in modern rag dolls, there's our whole modern rag doll membership inside of the Makers Club. So there's learning how to stuff, how to embellish dolls, how to hand embroider, how to all the stitches, to how to photograph your dolls, how to sell your dolls online. There's all kinds of information in there. It's just an amazing club. So I'm hoping that if you're having fun here and you want to just explore it, just head over to the Be So Inspired, look under the Makers Club tab. So again, there's no secrets. We want full disclosure. You can actually see all of the patterns that are available. You can actually see all the headings and a little teasers of all of the information. And then if you want want to unlock all of that and unlock all the downloads, then you can just log into your membership and it's all there for you. So there's also a community on there that we share and bring each other up as well. So thank you so much for being here with me today and this whole month for the Be a Superhero doll panel sew along. Next month, we have so much fun planned that I hope you can join us. We've got another doll panel sew along. So we've got the Fox panel sew along coming up. So I hope you can join us for that as well. We are also doing the Fox Cub quilt along. Do you want a sneak peek? Should I show you? So the Fox Cub quilt is a great quilt. You can sew this quickly before the holiday seasons. It's a little tiny crib, not too tiny, but it's a crib size quilt. It's a great little lap size quilt. You can make it either in, a woodland version or in an Arctic version. This is my second fabric collection with Riley Blake coming out. It's called Forest Friends Backcountry Adventure, and it's hitting shops in October as well. So we will be sharing this with everyone and the sew along for it. And there's an option for just a solid border and not a piece border if you wanted to just get it a little quicker or you wanted to make it a little bit bigger. So just head over to the Be So Inspired website and you can see all the great things coming. And if you want to make sure you're always in the know on all the fun that we have, tutorials and freebies and all the things, do make sure that you sign up for our newsletter on the site. I'm so happy you're here, and I hope you have a great and wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.